Welcome to Gleaning Mustard Seeds with Jerrie Barber. Mr. Barber is a preacher, a ventriloquist, a barefoot runner, and writes 2 blogs. When Jerrie communicates, he encourages people, try not to learn very much. Find a mustard seed. In the next few minutes, try not to learn very much. Look for something you can do to move a mountain, remove a stumbling block, or provide a stepping stone for yourself or someone else. And now, here's Jerrie with this week's mustard seed.
This episode is from Chapter 18 in my book, Between Preachers. This is how I communicate to a new congregation, how we can better communicate to each other. Chapter 18, Communication Rules. How will each know what the other is thinking? I was just beginning my ministry at a congregation, shaking people out of the building on a Sunday night. A sister came to me, shook my hand, and roared, "I've been sick 2 weeks, and nobody came to see me, not even the preacher." I was surprised and embarrassed. I was surprised because I didn't know she had been sick. I was embarrassed because she said it in front of several other members. I was trying to get off to a good start in my new work. I asked her if the doctor knew she was sick. She said he did. I wondered how he found out. She said she told him. I replied, "That's the only way the good Lord gave me to learn things." About 7 years later, I didn't think my salary had kept up with my expenses. It hurt my feelings because the elders hadn't given me a bigger raise. "What did the elders say when you told them?" "Well, I didn't tell them. I thought elders ought to know things like that." That makes relationships complicated when we expect people to read our minds. Paul wrote, "For what man knows the things of a man except the spirit of the man which is in him? Even so, no one knows the things of God except the Spirit of God." 1 Corinthians 2:11. You don't know what I think unless I tell you. I don't know what you think unless you tell me. I hope no one fails to ask for what they need. Then I fail to do what I didn't know they wanted me to do, and they want me to feel guilty. I hope this doesn't happen. If it does, I won't cooperate by feeling guilty. My commitment to you, I'll tell you what I think will be helpful. 1, from the Bible. 2, from my experience and observations. 3, remember the wastebasket is always available. My request of you, please tell me how I can be helpful to you. Tell me when you're sick if you want me to know. Tell me if you'd like a visit or if you'd rather I pray for you and not visit. In my early ministry, I visited everyone in the local hospital every day, twice if they were very sick, and 3 times if they were dying. You didn't want to see me the 3rd time the same day. That was a bad sign. On surgery day, I came to the hospital before a person received a happy shot, and we prayed. I sat with the family during surgery. After the person was out of surgery, I went to the room, had a prayer. Then I left the hospital until a day in Dalton, Georgia. Marlene Griggs approached me one Sunday morning and said, "Jerry, Bob's having knee surgery Tuesday. I'd appreciate it if you would not come to the hospital and sit with us during surgery." I was shocked. How could I break my rule? She continued, "You know how anxious I am. I don't want to have to entertain someone. I'll have my Reader's Digest. Steve, Carol, and Lee Ellen will be there. Are you going to be in town Tuesday?" I replied, "I plan to be in town." Marlene continued her communication. "We expect everything to go well, but if something bad were to happen, would you come to the hospital?" I told her I would. Marlene said, "I appreciate it. If I need you, I'll call you." Wow! What good communication! I began to reflect on my previous practice. I wonder how many times I've bothered people by my presence when they had rather I'd been somewhere else. And I have a new policy. Please tell me how I can be helpful in any circumstance. I'll try to cooperate. When I was serving as an interim at the college-side congregation, I met the best communicator in Cookeville, Tennessee, Dawn Reeves. The Sunday I explained my communication rule, Dawn came to me after services and said, "My name is Dawn Reeves. When I have an operation, I want you to visit me, and I want you to bring chocolate. I don't have any surgery scheduled, but when I do, please visit and bring chocolate." And it came to pass, before I left Cookeville, Dawn Reeves had surgery. I visited and brought chocolate. Why did Dawn Reeves receive chocolate from me when others didn't? Because she asked for it. She is an excellent communicator. I encourage us to follow Dawn's example. There would be less disappointment if we told people what we wanted from them. I use electronic communication. I'm active on Facebook. I post a thought of the day on Twitter. I email and text. I won't ask anyone to connect on Facebook while I serve as an interim in this congregation. I will confirm anyone who requests me to be a friend on Facebook. Anyone from this congregation who follows me on Twitter, I'll follow. I use email and text to communicate facts such as time and place to have lunch. I don't do counseling, Bible studies, or try to settle disagreements by text or email. For those, I like to look someone in the eye. I'll be glad to set a time and place by text or email.
Thank you for listening to Gleaning Mustard Seeds with Jerrie Barber. If you found a mustard seed, send a text or email with the link to a friend. This podcast was brought to you by Jerrie Wayne Barber, Sales Manager with AmeriPro Roofing. AmeriPro Roofing has been around since the year 2000 and has had an office in Franklin, Tennessee for the last 10 years. We have installed well over 200,000 roofs nationwide and are excellent at replacing roofs, gutters, and siding. We are reasonably priced and outstanding at working with your insurance, which helps minimize your out-of-pocket expense. If you would like a free inspection of your roof and other exteriors, please call Jerrie Barber at 931-628-3390 for an appointment in Middle Tennessee. AmeriPro Roofing. Standards through the roof. Thank you for listening. Jerrie looks forward to next week as we continue to collect and plant mustard seeds.